So what can you tell us about Pavel?
What can I tell you? What can I tell you about Pavel? Pavel is sweet. No, Pavel's like a hideous, horrible, like throw you out in front of the bus in 2 seconds. Watch your back. Oh God. Who's probably the most dangerous type of person because he's very he's jealous and feels like not appreciated and that he's better than his contemporary Page and his boss Tesla. So I think all the way around everything is in place, just setup wise, for Pavel to do something horrible.
Would you say?
Which will be simple to do more than he does in the pilot that you guys saw, probably, right? Because I couldn't find myself in it. Yeah, I digress. Anyway, I'm not bitter at all.
Would you say that there's kind of like a kind of Starscream Megatron relationship between the two in terms of this general?
Starscream.
In terms of how Pavel is always trying to maybe stab the general in the back, maybe kind of trying to get ahead.
I'm gonna guess yes, but I have no idea what you mean. I don't.
You think the Transformers reference?
I know, and I was just saying, and this gives me away as like I know nothing about Transformers. I had a couple Transformer toys, but they were the old school ones. And I had a Tron toy from the first Tron, a light cycle.
So were you a fan of?
And I started a rumor here today that we're getting one, that Disney's giving each one of the cast. I just ran into Lance Henrik because it was downstairs and he went, I hear we're going to get like a... I was like, I started that. So anyway.
Have you been a science fiction fan since doing Flight with the Navigator?
I've been a sci-fi fan since I was like a little kid and saw a horror movie that I got confused with sci-fi and just always for many years thought like murder and skeletons and scary stuff was part of sci-fi. It wasn't until way later that somebody sat me down and went like, this is sci-fi and this is horror, okay? Like, so, yeah, I love sci-fi. I've worked in it very little though so far. I don't have a huge amount of experience with sci-fi, so I'm excited because I'm getting some sci-fi cred here, you know, on this project. I feel like I got another year at Comic-Con. I'm excited.
You got such a warm reception when you revived Pee Wee Herman, and we get to see you kind of have a nice victory lap in that character. Are we going to be seeing more of you now as Paul Reubens, the actor, like outside of that character?
I'm just going to be Pavel from here on out. Yeah, I mean, I've been very interested in doing other acting work, and that's something I'm pursuing, and there's some stuff that's about to happen that would be in that vein. So yeah, I think I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of Pee Wee Herman and a whole bunch of other stuff that part of which remains to be seen and part of I already know but I can't tell.
How close is the next Pee Wee movie to getting going?
From what I understand, it's very close to getting going. We just did a very, very quick, like, lean and mean rewrite of it. And we have a meeting with Judd Apatow this coming week, 4 days from now, 5 days from now. And I'm hoping we're going into production soon after that. So I'm excited about that because it's a really funny script. And I'm just excited to work with Judd on it. So, and we've been sort of talking a little bit about casting already. So I'm excited to just be able to make a couple of phone calls and ask people if they'd be in it.
What was it like for you to do the live show and feel that response from the fans that have loved that character for so long, and to have them sitting right in front of you?
It was overwhelming. I mean, honestly, that's something that I'm not that good at, really. Like, sometimes I miss that kind of stuff. I'm just always sort of, I'm oftentimes not in the moment as much as I should be, and I'm kind of like ahead of things. So sometimes I don't feel that stuff. But it was so extreme that it was. I'm just using this as an example. If you're like sort of somebody who that stuff goes over their head sometimes, which I am, it was so extreme, it was impossible to ignore it. That was a very wordy way of answering it, but it was so extreme. People were so unbelievably effusive and communicative about it that I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't go poo-poo it. I couldn't go, ha, ha, ha. I mean, it was like I'd go, ha, ha, and then another person would be there. I mean, it was really remarkable, and I feel this is really corny, but I mean, I feel so lucky to have had that opportunity. I mean, it isn't why I did it, but it certainly wasn't something I went like, boy, this is the reason I didn't want to do it in the first place. Everyone's so nice to me, you know. I mean, it was incredible. It was just really an amazing experience, and I had it every single performance of it in Los Angeles and in New York, and after the show and before the show and surrounding it. I mean, it was just. I'm still getting feedback from it. It's been really remarkable. So, and it's a character I've always loved. So I can't wait to put the shoes back on and get that suit back on, you know, very soon and do this movie that I love. I mean, it has such a funny script and such a weird twist to it all that I'm excited. Honestly, I wish I could just go like, here's what it's about. Here's the co-star, you know. And there's some really great details to it. But
is there any talk about bringing Danny Elfman back to further capture the flavor of Big Adventure?
I mean, Danny, and I shouldn't say this because I haven't talked. Well, I did talk to Danny recently, but we haven't talked about that for a long time. And also, I've never made a movie with Judd, so I don't know what Judd, music-wise, how he would feel. Although I can't imagine that Judd would be Danny, no. But Danny, I feel like we have an unspoken sort of like you're doing the music. If I make a Pee Wee movie, you're doing the music. Don't make me point out that I started your career, okay? It's like that kind of thing. So
Forbidden Zone, right?
You know.
Because we're all fans of Forbidden
Exactly.
Zone.
Yeah.
And I know.
Did he do the music for the new one?
Dark Shadows?
Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
he did.
It's a good score. Yeah.
Because I keep reading about the songs and the thing, and no one's mentioned Danny's.
Oh no, it's great.
Sure,
Really, the opening has like an 8-minute prologue, and it's just very apparatic.
I haven't seen
His
it.
score and 70s music.
Yeah. Procol Harum. I've heard about the 70s music, but I didn't know what the score was.
And
Yes.
just a quick
The answer is yes. I mean,
Cool,
I
that'd
love
be great.
Danny.
That'd be fun, 'cause
Danny.
his Big Top Pee Wee score was amazing as well.
I thought his
the
score,
song
well,
would be-
both scores that he's done for me, I think, are incredibly
Yeah,
over.
I'm on his back.
I mean, he should have been nominated for the first one, I think.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, as you probably know, it's Nino Rota's score to 8.5, really. But
And just to
most
follow
people don't know that.
really quickly, even though we're very, very excited about the road picture with Apatow, it's amazing and we can't wait. Are you still developing what you've quoted has been talking about the darker Pee Wee film?
I have 2 other movies, Pee Wee movie scripts.
Oh, 2.
And, you know, hopefully the Judd movie will, you know, top all the Avengers records. And then the other 2 will be no-brainers. I mean,
Fantastic.
they'll be.
Can't wait.
My phone will be ringing, as is my fantasy. My phone will be ringing as I'm walking in the house, months before I had even thought. Like, it's time to make the movie, and someone will be like, "Pee Wee, we've got to make the movie now. Let's not wait." So that's what
You've done a lot of voiceover work in your career. How important is voice acting to you? How much
I love voice acting, and I was just telling another roundtable discussion that. To me, it's really interesting how many people view it very seriously. It's something that you really have to know a lot about to do. And there's a separate school of people who come in and just read, you know. I just recently saw something where I thought that the vocal talent, I used it as an example with somebody I was with and just said, like, here's an example of bad cartoon voice working, you know. This is someone who's basically reading it off of a page and doesn't understand the fact that you don't have your eyes, your face, your body, you don't have any of the stuff that you normally, the things you call on and use as an actor. So it's not, there is way more to it than it seems. So vocally you have to accomplish a lot more with your voice than you do when you. A lot of what I do, I consider mugging. You know, I do a lot of if I can't think of something funny, I just like make a face. So you don't have that. You don't have that ability. So I think it's very interesting. I feel like I've had a lot of experience doing it. I worked with one of my earliest jobs. I worked on a reboot of the Flintstones, where the monster family moved in next door to the Flintstones. So I got to work with Mel Blanc, and I mean, I feel like I had a really great education just in terms of realizing, wait a minute, what's the difference between this person who doesn't seem very interesting and Mel Blanc, or maybe that's not a good example of the game genius,
Yeah.
but I feel like I've become good at this now, and I don't think you probably are familiar with my work on this show because I only have one line in the pilot, which I haven't been able to find. But I assure, I'm just complaining because the Disney lady's here. I want her to hear me complain. And mention the light cycle again, because I'm really trying to get a light cycle out of this. Yeah, that's right. And honestly, if they would have given one to each one of the journalists, the reviews they would have had for the show, my God, the PR would be incredible.